Damn, I'm gonna shred the English language. You don't know how much. If you please allow us join another table, please join another table. We will try to make this as fast and as dynamic as you allow. So, second question. Would you please grant me hide your phones? I facilitate a lot of workshops, and mostly with university kids. And my idea is if I see a phone on the table, I throw the phone away. So, no phones. Just for the first part. Later on, you will do whatever you need. Just for the first part. So thank you very much for coming. And I don't know if you have already seen the cards in the booth. And if you have any questions about them, I will try to solve them. Christmas is coming to town, so we're going to give one deck of cards per table for running the exercise. And later on, you could decide who among the table is going to take the cards with them. So it's a little souvenir. If you already have a customer between us. Thank you very much. So have you ever worked with scenario planning? Have you ever worked with scenario planning? What's the most complicated part about doing scenario planning?
Oh, no.
Oh, just a yes. Who's ever worked in scenario planning? Regina has worked in scenario planning. Who else? Yes. What's the most complicated part of doing the exercise?
I know the scenario. Like
Allocating the scenario. Okay. What else? Well, you have to disagree. That's part of the idea because you need conflict. No, you need the conflict of the ideas. What else? Okay. In terms of?
You put it into the conversation, but it's not actually the reality, you know? So it's like the Santa Claus list, but it's not.
Yeah. The elusive Santa Claus.
Yeah.
What else? Organizing the ideas. The what? Data. The collection of the data, or imagine something about the data or within the data that is not part of the scenario and should be incorporated. Okay. One for table. Thank you. When I was running scenario planning, the most difficult part for me is the context. So I don't know what's happening out there, and I need to guess in the best ways possible, with the less information available, what the evolution of that unknown could be. So what we're trying to do with this card is apply the innovation method with its experimentation, a lot of imagination, many guesses, in terms of how to make it available in a way that we can experiment in a safe way, in a safe environment, and digest a lot of information from the context that we need to allocate among the tables. And with that, create a scenario, define a series of ideas that will allow us to solve part of the scenario, and then define the solution for a given problem. So that's the idea that we are going to try to work today. So the first of all is if you all agree which is the most urgent problem that you have seen through the event that will facilitate is either the ecosystem for it to be active, is either maybe a stakeholder to be involved, is either maybe a project that needs to be implemented in a fastest way in a, I don't know, small community. What kind of problem will require an innovative approach to be applied, and maybe this exercise will allow you to have a different approach, different idea, or even different context in which that could be played with. That's the first task that I will ask you. Grant us 3 minutes to agree on it per table. If you please, 3 minutes to do it. what problem would you tackle in your group?
I would say access to capital for idea stage founders. We're trying to get from idea to MVP. Black minority founders in the United States. By the way, this is just an idea.
No.
We need one more minute. Yeah, we're close.
Okay, please be aware. It has to be specific.
Yes, we're drilling down.
It's physicians. That's a big thing that we're doing now. Yeah. So right now, we're brainstorm what problems we want to overcome.
Once you agree on something, please be aware. It has to be specific. So it's not just all I Yeah.
Do we have something to write it?
For you to agree, and then we will start working with
Mejorar la comunicación, mejorar la colaboración, o que el gobierno se integre más en el ecosistema. Por ejemplo, pues tenemos que
Perdón, tienen que considerar que si lo que sacas fuera es específico. No puede ser. Tenemos que poner una política bajar un poco más para que sea concreto después la evolución de lo
So we want to solve the problem. How can we incorporate the entrepreneur mindset earlier on the education system? Like
earlier on is with age or with
earlier on
demographic?
age. Yeah, age.
Which age?
Maybe we can start like
Middle school.
I think, yeah.
Okay. Which is going to be your focus? Teachers or kids? or parents, or all?
So I think.
I'm just giving you the.
Okay. So that was.
Perdón, tienen que llegar a algo que sea un poco concreto para que sobre eso vayamos construyendo.
Okay. So.
Hello? I think all tables has already selected one problem or the notion of a problem, and then you will have more or less the evolution of the conversation. Okay? Everyone okay? Okay. Just follow me with this concept. So the way in which we design these cards to work is, first of all, have the notion of the context. It's very important that you have at least 10 minutes to discuss in which context that problem you are discussing takes place. It is a local context. And what is around that local problem to happen. It is a global problem. Who is involved, in which way is involved, what elements are involved in it. It is something that happens in a federal, municipality, local. So talk about the context and what elements are around it. Later on, we will have to define under which scenario or which assumptions we are going to create the experiment. And then that requires for you to isolate some elements of the context or to incorporate elements to the context that you identify that are key for that problem to happen or to evolve or to scale. So please, after that, we will start working with triggering questions that are part of the deck by itself. And the most important part is that you will start working with ideas that has to be, and this is very important, something that came from the experience of other industries. It's not about education, it's something that is happening in consumer market or something that happens in finance market. Because if I take the learning from other industries and put it upside down, then I can recombine whatever elements are happening right now in my problem with the experience of other vision and then try to combine it in different ways and learn what will come. That is what the what if element. So it's other industries, could be the incorporation of technology, could be the emergence of sub-tendencies, something that is emerging in the context or that I'm not aware that could influence the context that will allow me to discover an emergent situation. And maybe it is something that is happening in a socio-cultural environment that I'm not aware that is the experience that is happening in another part of the world. And it's part of this conversation when we have actors from different countries. And the last part of the process is for you to assemble something that more or less is in the agreeable landscape in which you will incorporate that solution to your context. I'm trying to draw a line in what could happen by the end of the exercise. So this is something just as a schematic for you to know how we can evolve the process. So what is the content of the cards and how it's played? So the cards are designed for you to play within different kind of exercises. The first one we are going to take is the scenario planning. The second one is the ideation, which is kind of running a brainstorming session. And the third one is assemble the solution. So the different sections of the deck are identified by color, are identified by title, and that is the context. So if we are going to work with the scenario planning, we are going to work with 3 out of the 5. When we are work about the brainstorming, the ideation, we are going to play with 2 out of 5. When we are going to play with the solution, we are going to play with 3 out of the 5. if you want to play with all the mazes, like in a Montessori school, working by yourself, enjoying yourself with it, you will discover things. Regardless which color and in which selection you play, you will discover things. The cards doesn't have any numbers, so you can select from the colors, different cards, and the idea is for you to take questions, to discuss with those questions. Many of the cards has a QR code. Those QR codes takes you to a case, something that is happening in some company or some industry or in some context that will allow you to inspire you in how to apply that situation to my local context, to my idea. No? So the most important, yes, break it, with joy. So the idea is, first of all, for the current problems we face, we cannot evolve to a new solutions or innovative solutions. We need to incorporate knowledge from different perspectives. And these different perspectives, once again, different industries, different knowledge, different technologies, the ones we apply, and maybe it's a challenge because I don't understand why blockchain has to do if I'm working with education. Blockchain is more allocated in supply chain or finance. And no, blockchains could be allocated in terms not only for grading, it could be applied for something else, maybe gamification, because the essence of blockchains is the identification of something that could be added through the chain. So how we can incorporate gamification plus blockchain, and there is a case in there that allows you to think about it. If I'm working around the ecosystem building, how to incorporate biomimicry, which is a biological and an evolutionary concept, to the notion of working in an ecosystem. Well, there is a lesson to learn there, and it's illustrated in the cards. So maybe from the discussion, regardless, it's so far away from whatever you have ever read or attempted, please just allow yourself to flow with the information and discover something. This is a discovery process entirely. So discuss all things that could be, reshape it, put it upside down, discuss whatever obstacles you face it, discuss whatever learnings you can bring to the table, and try to apply it to whatever you have selected that is going to be your objective for the session. So this is a model I apply in terms of consultancy where I am developing these kind of initiatives, products or services with my clients. And this is something I would like to share with you. And it's specifically dedicated to the idea of how to do this scenario planning. So if you weren't, I'm so very used to do it with products, so allow me to work as if it were a product. If you were going to develop a new kind of, may I? Glasses. Thank you. If we were going to develop a new kind of glasses. So what is happening outside in terms of vision? What is happening outside in terms of other companies that are experimenting with new polymers for the lenses, new polymers for the frames, thank you. What are they solving? And what I can learn. And maybe when I'm looking for the context, I will say, well, now there are lenses that are connected directly to the internet and allows you to take pictures to whatever you see. Say, well, that's cool, but does it solve the problem? There are lenses for those people who has problems with vision that allows them to hear like a bat. The frames are designed to send signal, and the signals bounce back and vibrate. There are new lenses that allows you to amplify your hearing, so you won't require headphones, or for those people who require augmentation of the capacity, something else. What else is happening in terms of vision around the world? Well, there is experiments on new technologies that you won't require the frames anymore. It's something that like a liquid that allows you to augment for a period of time the capacity of your vision. So in the context, it's happening something that allows me to say the industry will take a shift in whatever is happening right now. And maybe the problem is not with the frames, it's with the access with the frames, it's with financing vision in the long term. because someone is experimenting something that is so far away to whatever other players are doing. So I need to understand, because something is happening out there that will determine the next evolution of that problem, maybe I will have to change my capacities. The knowledge I have, the resources I have, the way those capacities and knowledge interacts with my production system, with my thinking systems. Then, later on, I will have to start establishing which new capacities do I have to bring and who has them, which is open innovation. What selection of those capacities will allow me to outpace my competitors? Maybe I will have to work in a joint venture, I'll create an alliance. Maybe we will have to share resources to define a new market, which is bringing a new capacity to try to tackle that problem in a different perspective, but align it to the change we're seeing. And that will take me to define new metrics, which is going to be the way in which I will measure if I have success or not, and if the market will be a success or not. And as a final result, I will try to define which products and services will accomplish that goal. I don't know if you have expertise developing products, but this is an entire different approach. Instead of defining what the consumer will want, and then I will jump immediately to launch a product. This is assessing what is happening out there. I have to redefine whatever resources I have. I have to create the assemble of those resources to tackle the problem. I have to measure specifically how success would look like, and later on, I can define if it's going to be a product, if it's going to be a service, if it's going to be a platform, if it's going to create a synergy, and then we will have to do something else that maybe it's beyond my current capacities, and I will have to entirely define something new, or entirely allocate a new set of resources only for tackling that kind of problem. I don't know if I'm doing myself understandable on this, because I'm trying to make a reference to a product, and whatever you are doing may be something more about education, the ecosystem building, but try to think about your problem as a product with a consumer, and that consumer should be allocated in a market. And this is the best way to make it sustainable in the future. Okay? So, how we are going to work through the rest of the workshop. So the idea is for you to have this notion about the context. You already agreed, but maybe have 5 more minutes about it to establish under which context are you going to try to digest the information. Later on, we will try to jump with ideas about what will the future of will be. What will the future of your problem will be? What will the future of the context of your problem will be? After that, you will start defining what are going to be the obstacles for this problem in the near future. And maybe define no more than 2. Okay? And after that, we will start working with which will the prototype of the solution could be. So in terms of the cars, as you can see, you have 3 dynamics. The first one will be analyze the scenarios. The second one will be generate ideas. And the third one will be solving the problem, which is 1, 2, and 3 of the ones I'm highlighting in the slide. You have the instructions in the card, so you will be perfectly fine following. If you follow the instructions, you won't miss. If you play Montessori, you will take more time. It's only about time and the quality of the discussions, no? So please, I ask you, select a moderator in the table, someone who can take the notion of the time and will try to allocate that the discussions takes place in an orderly way and that all the table gets to a point in a certain time. So select a moderator, then you will have markers, you will have paper, don't worry. The most important is the quality of the discussion, and bring everything to the table. Play with the cards. And the evolution of the time, please. That's important. Someone has to become an expert. Regardless you have experience or not, someone has to act as if it's the expert. Because the idea will be to create challenges, to appoint the conversation, to be on the facts. Facts are very important for this. Someone has to act as the decider, so who has the final vote on whatever is being discussed. Regardless if it's an expert or not, someone that has to take the role. And the rest of the table will become validators. That means, and this is very important, you will have to collect data from other tables and bring it to your own table. So you will have to do research with other tables or with your phones, and you will have to try to get to a point in which that information you are collecting gets to a notion that allows you to be involved in the discussions you have in your current table and bring something new to the table. So the validators are very important in this role. And these are the kind of questions I will ask you to take note. I will leave them in the show mode. But these are the kind of questions that we will work through the exercise. What external elements are going to accelerate the rate of change of whatever problem you are trying to solve? Which ones are internal pressures? Things that, and this is important, the internal pressures are things that I think I know that I do not know. Things that I don't know, I know. And things that I don't know that I don't know. It's kind of tricky, but it's truth. So, very important for you to have the notions, and that's why the ones who are going to be asking with our tables and bringing new information are key in this exercise. And the last one, what kind of actions that are not the usual ones? That has to be very ingenious, very frugal, very bold, will allow me to surpass what other actors have attempted in the past. So we need to bring something that is cheap, fast to implement, and very clever, which is the kind of things we are always asking for. You have any? Someone has any questions about this? Questions? No? Great. Llega usted.
You're saying about validation, but if the problems at each table are different, how do you validate with other tables?
With cleverness. I know the problems are different. That's why you need to try to come to the table, learn what they're doing, try to allocate information, and bring to your table. So that's part of the exercise. Think about if each one of the tables it's an industry. There are different industries that are trying to solve different problems. But at the end, all of the industries share the same things. The problems has a fine line which is common to each one, to everyone, I'm sorry. So you will learn through that. And also, you have the cards, and you have the information you are going to allocate in the sheets of paper. So it will be, something will be evident, something not. You need to stay a little time in the tables, but it's part of doing the spying / researching process. So, no more questions. I will just leave you with the timing. That's the order of the process. Forget about the timing. I will give you the timing. For the first part, which is scenario, will take 20 minutes. It's going to be more or less 20 minutes per each one. But I will let you know when the time is off. Okay? So please enjoy, take the cards, do as many questions, get messy, and let's see what happens.
so much information to take in, and there are so many moving parts. And Christ is a little bit questions. It's like a lot of things.
So I think
Shall we go with your problem? So, and you just getting out into
we carefully analyze.
so we've got 20 minutes. We've chosen a problem. We've got 20 minutes already. Sorry, the semantics are confusing. We've chosen a problem. What we're going to do is choose who the role in the role. We choose an analyze scenario. Chevron, it's my job. So, expert, moderator, who wants to be validated? Validator here. What was the other role?
Well, I think there are a couple of values.
Yeah, a couple of validators.
Anybody to the
Decision making.
You have to remove
I think so to be clear, the idea is how we keep momentum. This is how we very specific endpoints people. Everybody likes to keep on. We still
So I guess if we kind of change the wording from what would the word of events be like in 20 to 30 years?
this is where I'm
So I think we're learning from the
I can see something even level back and saying, only to find out after 2 weeks getting home that you guys have been doing other things in your life become a priority. I have things when I was 18, 19, not when I Yeah, we're using those. Yes. Do we need to pass those around?
What do I do? We have free platform. nutrition advice. This now creates that rule of designing a 100% personalized experience. So if I use this as an example, one of the challenges that we have when we talk about extending the energy, momentum, or the connections is that how we create that long-term experience. Well, that is again, right? But how do we create that long-term experience after the event? So it's not really bad. How do we create that long-term experience?
Just go back to the travel planning. Is the travel planning for visiting a destination? We take travel planning in terms of thinking about the event in advance. Is the quality of the relationship that happens proportional to the amount of time you put into building them before you go on the board? So if you have an opportunity to build and then complete even before you get there, is that going to help extend everything's? Whereas if you have a really in-depth conversation with someone, you get both of you get on really well as a blockchain connection, and chance of actually staying connected, and want to stay connected. So
Yes.
Just in terms of, like I said, in these two things, I think one of the challenges that I see in terms of events like this, sometimes too long. Right? They don't want to get enough time to connect with everyone and teach enough. Right? So how do you find the right to connect with where you are right now? Right? And in terms of one of the ideas, you can either have let's say we have we already have an app, right? But if I list out what each of them already having, and one of my skill sets right there, or the AI tools that we don't have much time because if I see my challenge is the ecosystem building part, right? With the other stuff, this is who have that skill set into ecosystem building, which sort of is so that 200, let's say 200 participant list is shortened down to 15 persons I should connect with. I don't know if it's I write to what my cycle was. But I didn't really do it.
Yeah, we've got 2 minutes left of our first 20 minutes. And we'll get to the problem and analyse it. We're going to generate ideas from this the next 20 minutes. Yeah. And then sort of
He's not giving us any more.
he's helping us.
Yeah.
Do you need to do?
Yes.
Chevron stuff ducking so it's your idea, Chevron, but now it's your leaving.
We just one idea because we're supposed to generate a lot more ideas. That's probably another problem.
So I'm not here because we allowing people to connect and have shared experience before, during, and after. But before, during, and after, it's a much capacity application. I think another one is someone said meditation. It's actually circumstances. No one actually says that. So now we've asked questions. No, generating ideas. Generating ideas. Using the orange and blue cards.
Okay, so can you imagine a scenario where establish
streaming services. How would people feel about £10 offset?
Please be aware of the time for continue the process. Please jump to generate ideas. Activity number 2.
said, also why don't we gamify the game so that the people who use it most get to go to the next one to judge. So what else have you Yes, it's like booking.com. Or it's like LinkedIn. One of those you observe I want you to approach me. Endless, crazy, irreverent, disconnected, intensely absurd, concerned, the excited, I'm actually approaching. Should we also have friendly so it shows how friendly you are. How approaching. Yeah. But yes, approaching. Okay, we really are generating some ideas. Yes, very serious. And not too much emotional level, what's different? Any ideas, anybody else, anybody We're saying lifestyle, like make it a lifestyle instead of an occupation. Yeah, we had the it's not all death and taxes, right?
For example, agriculture, you have groups
I'm not too poor. My business doesn't stop here with here. María Bonita. No, you don't know that. For 7 months traveling. I'm a little bit funny. No, I'm a fractions
Somebody in Suriname, they're the go-to for getting things done if you need to. Yeah, they're shown on the There's some of it. There's some of it. You get some, only some. But it, so therefore you're getting an actual something actually won't work into it. Actually change. So then if they really want to stay with you, then they have to put that energy in and the pictures, which I can go into. Allow people to this is really good stuff. Not only do I want to, I'm staying there, and they gamify it as well. So, some people they go to next conference for free because people I haven't even just been on it like but there are other things.
Concept of credit.
also the individuals we discussed at the end, like different opportunities for people to get saying, one of the most findings that we did, okay, it's not a sample, but one of the most dramatic compared to maybe
I'm guessing you have already achieved the stage of solving the problem. So taking account sending you validators to collect information from the other tables.
So I actually,
The only reason I can't get the cards is I don't find it very often go with
5 minutes to conclude the exercise. If you please, 5 minutes. And then I will ask you for information. So please, if I can take your attention one moment. Thank you very much. So have you learned something with the exercise, aside of solving the problem or have the notions of the solution or problem? What happens to be the food up there was a main problem because 2 tables were talking about it. Three tables, I think? No, 2 tables. The food process, the meal process. Yeah, everyone was talking about it. But have you learned something? It would be helpful for you. No? Thank you very much for participating in this exercise. At the end is for you to decide who's going to take the cards with you. So the cards are also available up there. And if as an organization or myself as an individual, if I can be of any assistance for you, please feel free. We can exchange numbers and let's continue the conversation.
Tell us where we can buy them and how much they cost.
What?
Tell the group how much they cost and where we can buy them.
Okay, you can buy them up there. It's $35. Either way, in Amazon Store Mexico, we have it in place. It's also for you important to know that this is a product with a social purpose. Whatever revenues we collect as an organization, we apply it in social impact projects. And my contact information is also there, and the contact information of the company is also there. If we can be of any assistance, more than happy. Thank you very much.